Hello guys and welcome back to this new video. So today we are going to discuss jealousy and envy. This feeling of envy. So first we are going to attempt to describe jealousy and envy, and our approach here is to describe it as a feeling that is elicited in the moment in which we feel that we are losing in our comparison. Now, our sense of losing something, right, can be in relation to objects, love, could be in relation to money, success, personal success, as well as professional success, beauty, social standing, and so many other different factors. Therefore, there is a specific emotion that our brain conjures up, that we feel, that we might feel for a second or for a prolonged period of time. And this emotion is what we call envy. It is probably the feeling that has been most rejected, ignored, and denied in our societies. And that is predominantly because, to put it in different terms, it's something to be ashamed of, because it says that we are in an inferior position in this comparison. It is something that also is very dangerous to declare, because it means that we are stating aloud our desire to hurt somebody else and to damage that person. So it's something that we usually either ignore and never admit. Dante, in his Divine Comedy, would put envious people in purgatory, and their eyes were sealed by a steel thread. And the reason why he was doing that is because envy is very, very human and is very animal in the sense that also animals will suffer from the same type of feeling. So it is understandable that we have that. It is understandable that we feel that way when we compare ourselves to other people. And it is normal, I guess, that we feel that way. But it is also extremely dangerous, right? We suffer from envy towards those people that we reckon the most similar to us. It is paradoxical, but we don't suffer from envy in comparison to somebody who is out of our league, right? Who is not at who is not in our proximity. We suffer from envy in comparison to those people like brothers, like Abel and Cain, that are more similar to us, because envy is a feeling that is elicited, suscitated by the question, why him, why her, and why not me? So Andrew Oswald from University of Warwick and Daniel Zizzo from the University of East Anglia have carried out an experiment and have seen that 62% of the people decided to damage, to completely burn somebody else's money, paying a little cost, because they were paying 25 cents for each euro belonging to somebody else they were burning. And 62 is quite a high percentage. And why, in other words, they were behaving like that? Because envy is a social sort of feeling, and it is a social form of pain. Like Japanese scientists have revealed, in particular, Hidehiko Takahashi, who is a researcher at the National Institute of Radiological Sciences in Japan, and he proved how envy actually activates the anterior dorsal cingulate cortex, which is an area in the brain that gets activated when we have an emotion such as envy, which is linked to social comparison, but also to the feeling possibly of being excluded from a field that is relevant to one's health. The same sort of research somehow has been supported by those of David Buss from the University of Texas and Sarah Hill from the Texas Christian University. They all have defined envy in terms of support in the competition for resources, and resources being food, partner, etc. And according to those scholars, the position within the group counts with regard to the quantity of resources and the ability to obtain them. For this reason, human beings have developed a particular attention to judging everything in terms of social comparison. For satisfaction, it is not only how much you have that counts, but whether this is more or less than what others you relate have. Even in the animal world, something very, very similar happens. So experiments conducted on monkeys have shown this. A group of monkeys were trained to perform a task, putting stones in the researchers' hands, by receiving pieces of cucumber as a reward. The monkeys in pairs could see each other. When researcher began to offer grapes in a way that was pretty much random, the other monkeys became very agitated. Sometimes they threw stones and cucumbers, showing an emotion very similar to envy. The same sort of reaction was also detected in dogs. They showed signs of tension and did not give the paw to the researcher without receiving anything in return. If, that is, they saw that the companion was instead rewarded with a sausage for the same action. But envy has a very beneficial impact as well, because it allows us to invest some energies, some resources, and some more strength and stamina, and has an impact on our determination and drive. It is a call to action, and in that sense can be absolutely benign when envy can lead us towards emulation, and in that sense is also very important, because some people can inspire us, and when we say that, we mean that we envy them so much that we want what they have. And that is also the same very principle that marketing nowadays applies, right? So why people belonging to a certain social standing, they will all have the Dior bag, or a certain Dior bag, or a certain Balenciaga dress, is exactly that reason, because marketing exploits the fact that that is accessible to everybody as long as you do have the money to pay it. And if you don't have the money to pay it, well, you could go and ask for a loan and things like that, right? So that is why you have hit bags, because in other words, they become social symbols of your wealth and your social standing. And therefore, marketing nowadays is based exactly on that. But if for that part of our society, we are more prone to accept that we are envious and that we envy somebody who has all of those objects, we are less prone, less inclined to accept that there's also a form of malign envy. In German, it's called Schadenfreude, which I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but it is described as a satisfaction of somebody else's misery, right? That is the same kind of envy that Aristotle and Spinoza were talking about, and that has been proved to activate no longer the anterior cingulate cortex, but on the contrary, it has been proved to activate the ventral striatum, that is what activates rewards. Therefore, there is benign and malign sort of envy But it is very important for us to feel that kind of feeling. We will never realize what we don't have unless we actually feel envy. And there's a danger in lack of envy. And the danger is that we can be very satisfied with a husband that mistreats us, because we might end up thinking that that is completely normal. Even worse, that that is what we deserve, right? That there is nothing better. So actually, envy is a positive feeling, like fear. It's there for a reason, to improve us. Now, our improvement doesn't really need to be, in us having more money. We just need the money that we need in order to survive and perhaps afford like a few experiences, right? For some of us. But we might also want more money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Where though it does transform is when we rejoice of people's misery, because perhaps we just might have to accept two fundamental qualities. First, that we are not born at the same point in life. Somehow, when we initiate this life, if you believe in reincarnation, we are given a certain set of situations, and it's up to us to change it. And on the other hand, sometimes we might not be able to do that. Part of life is also accepting the things that we cannot change. And this has started to look like more a sermon, so I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna ask you guys to leave me your comments. Leave here below your comments on what you think of envy, and we'll talk some more next time. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment below, and hit the notification bell so that you can receive every new update. So we'll talk some more next time. Bye!